Good morning, everybody. It's Ange Sinclair from Digestive Detective, live here with you this morning after having a very relaxing weekend. So I hope you got to enjoy the sunshine if you're in Australia, and I hope it was very nice wherever you were. So today I want to talk about dysbiosis because there's lots of things that can go wrong in the bowel. And dysbiosis is one that I often hear people say, I hear it, but I don't know what it means. So dysbiosis is a fancy name essentially for when the good bacteria and the bad bacteria becomes unbalanced. So dysbiosis can be a result of a lack of good bacteria, or it can be a result of an overgrowth of bad bacteria. So it can happen not only in our digestive system, but it can happen on our skin, in our lungs, up our nose, in our sinuses. And I often see people have this in their sinuses, in your ears and in your eyes, in your vagina and under your nails as well. So some common symptoms are bloating, burping, heartburn, reflux, excessive gas after meals, fullness. Once you've finished eating, you feel really full, diarrhea, excessive gas, what else? Constipation and bad breath. Hi, Brooke. So does this sound familiar to other conditions? For me, it does. So there's a couple of things, there's some other conditions that you have that you probably wouldn't connect the dots to. For example, joint pain, rosacea, adult acne. If you get acne from it appears out of nowhere, I would be looking at dysbiosis. Parasites, iron deficiency, sugar craving, weight gain, fatigue, and hi Wendy, chronic vaginitis or vaginosis. Any of those things would be looking at dysbiosis. So how do we get dysbiosis? So we have a really delicate balance to our inner ecosystem, and it can be easily disrupted. I think I've disrupted mine over the weekend by eating too much sugar. I never have sugar, and I had sugar biscuits a couple of times. So possibly that could be it. So diet, our standard Australian diet is generally heavily on processed foods. It lacks fibre, fruit and vegetables, and extreme diets also play a part. So I think that is super high protein, low in fiber, high in fat, which are trending diets right now. I think they create dysbiosis, especially the high fat, high protein diets, because they move you into more gut bacteria that's hydrogen sulfide producing, which are the ones that you tend to have more, that tend to go along with colon cancer and things like that. So diets that are low in fiber really can slow down your transit time, so that can give you constipation and those sorts of things. And the longer the poo essentially is in your body, the more toxins you create, and the more you have a chance of getting all those signs and symptoms, because the longer the toxicity in your body, the more chance things are going to go wrong. Another thing I see with dysbiosis is frequent antibiotic use. If you've got sinus infection that doesn't clear, or you get a cold or flu and you're getting constant antibiotics, that will give you dysbiosis over and over generally, because we know that antibiotics will not only kill good bacteria, they also kill bad bacteria. And we know a couple of species can recover reasonably quickly from antibiotics. We know that some never recover, and we know that some take for up to 4 years to recover. So it's not just, I'm going to take antibiotics and then I'm going to pop some probiotics to get better. It doesn't really happen like that. So which we know now, which we didn't know before. So I always say, if you really need to do the antibiotic, do it. But if you don't and you can find another way, then try that first. Medications. So medications like proton pump inhibitors are really a big contributor to dysbiosis, because they essentially block our hydrochloric acid production. And what our hydrochloric acid production is, it's our first line of defense. It stops those bacteria that are on food that we're popping in our mouth, and they would normally kill that. So when we're stopping that production of that hydrochloric acid, we're basically saying, come in, fellas, set up shop, let's get going. So just be mindful of that when you're on protein pump inhibitors and stuff like that. Think again, it's one that I would say, is there something else in your lifestyle that you can change to prevent the acid reflux? Because normally you can stop it reasonably quickly without taking proton pump inhibitors. A suppressed immune system will also cause dysbiosis. And a lot of people don't put this one into context. If you're under a large amount of emotional stress, that will take a toll on your immune system. And people don't really understand that. It can change. You can actually start killing bacteria when you're under lots of emotional stress. So intestinal infections, parasitic infections, any sort of inflammation, or if you have an autoimmune condition, these will also have some effect on your gut bacteria. So it's always good to keep those in the back of your mind. Food allergies and intolerances. These are, again, the chicken or egg scenario. Do the food allergies and intolerance cause dysbiosis, or does dysbiosis cause the food allergies and intolerance? It's not an easy thing to figure out. So it's good to keep those in the back of your mind too. Stress, not only emotional stress that we've talked about already, but physical stress. If you look at elite athletes like ultramarathon runners or triathletes or things like that, over-exercising gives them dysbiosis of their gut. Generally, once they run a big race, they have terrible gut trouble. So keeping that in the back of their mind when they're exercising and how they recover is key for them. And the last one probably for me is hormonal issues. Pregnancies, oral contraceptive pills, steroid hormones, HRT replacement therapies, they all impact our gut flora negatively. So you can see that having a hi Melissa, having a balanced intestinal tract sounds easy, but it's easily disrupted in our modern world. So the trick is don't wait when you get negative symptoms. Try and really get on top of them quickly, because what happens when dysbiosis stays for a long time, it then turns into the disease. And it's better to and easier to correct dysbiosis than it is to have to try and turn a disease around. So they're some of the biggest things that affect our dysbiosis. So I hope that's been helpful for you this morning. Have a great week, everybody. It looks like it's going to be a rainy one in Sydney, which is great because we haven't had any rain for ages. So stay warm, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.